Today, I had the honor of meeting artist Nikki Johnson and hearing her speak about her work and creative process surrounding her Pillars of Democracy collection. Here's an example of that beautiful work. And honestly, it stayed with me long after the conversation ended. Hello, friends. I'm Scott Lloyd, author of the book, The God I Was Given, Looking for Faith After Losing My Religion. I'm an oral historian and a scholar of race, religion, culture, and communication, and someone who spends a great deal of time thinking about memory, storytelling, and the way that ordinary people shape history. And I found Nikki Johnson's work deeply moving. What struck me most was hearing how intentional every layer of the collection really is. These portraits are not just paintings. They are constructed from remnants of protest materials, fragments transformed into towering portraits of first-time women voters. And there's something profoundly American about that, taking scraps that others overlook and building something beautiful and enduring from them. And honestly, it reminded me of the work that I do as an oral historian. So much of history lives in fragments, in stories almost forgotten, in voices that people in power once ignored. And as Nikki Johnson described her process, you could hear that this work is not performative. It's not just activism or empty symbolism. Portraits named Liberty, Justice, Freedom, and Forward feel almost sacred as you're standing before them and you see the glory and power that is depicted. And maybe that is what impacted me the most. In a moment where democracy often feels exhausted by outrage and algorithms and performative noise, Johnson's work quietly insists that democracy is still human work, handmade work, community work. The quilts, the native plants, the rivers, the historical references woven into the collection root these women in something larger than themselves. Not celebrity, not branding, but legacy. Hearing her speak today reminded me that great art does not merely decorate institutions. It asks questions of people walking through them. And sometimes, if we are paying attention, it reminds us that democracy itself is a fragile piece of collaborative art, still unfinished, still being stitched together by ordinary people brave enough to show up. Check out her work at NikkiJohnson.com.